When the weather changes and it really cools down, those bachelor groups of bucks, they start to split up. And when the rut hits, it's an exciting time. You never know what you're gonna see. You could be in for a big surprise.
Condition, lights out, stomping all competition. My utmost to his highest, it gets no flyer. Uh-oh, we set the mainframe on fire. Cold red for the lead from the pedal. I push to the metal, the dust never settles. F5 level, kick up the bass and the treble. Cause faith, that's a rebel, I can show you the devil. I blaze a trail like the rays from tail light sound, shaking the ground like earthquakes and hail might. Someday I'll die, but not tonight. Excuse me while I light up the sky.
Every deer season is different. You really never know what to expect. You know, some years we think that we kind of have it in the bag. I mean, we see these deer and they're very visible early season, and we actually have a couple of deer that are targeted, and we think that, you know, it may easily work out. And sometimes it does. We're able to sit for the first or second time when the season starts and actually get a good buck and a mature buck. Well, this particular year wasn't the case. You know, we were seeing some okay deer, but nothing mature. When there's acorns everywhere, they're not coming where we think they're gonna be. You know, they're random. I mean, there's live oaks everywhere on the ranch. I couldn't see mature deer. I wasn't even seeing anything way off that was mature. You know, Chad and I every year, especially when it's pre-rut and then gets into the rut, you know, we get concerned because these bucks, they're leaving from our setups. They're following these does, and you know, there's no telling where they go a lot of times. They could be a mile and a half, 2 miles away. On the flip side of that, we see bucks that we never see this time of year. And you know, you're sitting and you may have a monster buck show up that just follows the right doe in. Like I always tell Chad, I mean, you know, this time of year, I'm hunting the does, you know. I know everyone says it all the time, but it is true. To have a good concentration of does near your setup or in your area can pay off big time.
Make me feel so cold. It's like I've been replaced by someone I don't know.
You know, Chad and I have been doing this for a long time, and you know, usually what we do is when we go on a trip, we trade off each hunt. I'm filming him or he's filming me. You know, like we always say, a good cameraman is hard to find, especially one with any experience. You know, when the situation arises to where I know there's a good buck in the area, you know, Chad may not be able to go with me on that trip. And if it's my only time to go and he can't go till next time or vice versa, you know, we're still not gonna miss that opportunity to go. I'm still gonna go to the ranch and I'm still gonna sit, but I'm gonna be filming myself. Now, filming yourself can be a challenge, and it's hard to pull it off. Sometimes it works out great, sometimes it is a nightmare. things are going pretty good. I'm seeing a few young deer. As it progresses a little bit more, hey, I see some deer that are about 3 years old. So as we always say, usually this is how it is. You see a few deer, it progresses up to hopefully seeing a mature deer. I'm trying to work the camera with my right hand. I got my bow over here, trying to get my bow up, make sure the camera's on the deer. I'm going back and forth, trying to figure out how to get my bow up and make sure that this deer, especially if he walks a little bit to the left or right, that he's gonna be in the right position. Look, I don't wanna screw this up. This to me is a monster buck and I don't wanna mess up. I'm filming myself. That's one of the problems with filming yourself, but you got to do something. I wouldn't even have this opportunity to have this big buck in front of me right now if I wasn't in this stand right now, even though I'm by myself. Man, I'm shook up right now.
When Scott got back from the lease from filming himself and he showed me the footage of this deer, man, I was blown away. And I said, you know what? This is a deer. I know I don't know this deer. We've never seen this deer before. And he probably isn't going to be around for 2-3 days and he's going to be gone and we're never going to see him again. Let's put a plan together and let's get back out there as soon as we can and let's see if we can't get on this deer.
I don't want to, I'm not trying.
So we finally get to the ranch. We're excited to be there. We know that, you know, we're gonna be hunting hard for this buck. And then what do you know? The bottom falls out. It's pouring down rain. It rains all through the night, all the next morning, most of the next day, and then finally starts to dissipate a little bit and clear up. And so we have a little bit of a break in the weather. We're gonna hunt over there where I hunted before last time I was here, one of those ground blinds, depending on the wind, this evening. Maybe he'll show up. Wow, we had a break in the weather, but it's pouring down rain again right now. But man, we had a great sit. Saw some beautiful deer, but not anything that we can take that's mature. Man, we'll be at it again. Trying to get that big, huge 8-point. Man, I thought it was gonna happen this evening, but we're giving it our all. But we'll be back soon. Well, it's the last morning. Good thing is the temperature's really dropped. We're gonna be in that ground blind again. The rain let up. I think it could be good. Deer, I think, are gonna be on their feet. Look, this is my last opportunity to hunt on this trip. I'm throwing everything at this deer. I put the buck oil out. We go ahead and get in the blind. We let it settle down a little bit. The sun starts coming up and I already got deer out in front of us.
all this work Scott's put in on this deer, and man, you know, hey, that's bow hunting. That arrow doesn't look good, doesn't look like a good shot. Man, Scott's about to cry. And I'm trying to figure out how to keep him encouraged, and man, he was mad. He wanted me to turn the camera off, and I said, let's just be hopeful. Let's wait. Let's see what can happen. And I mean, you just never know.
These are the times that are really, really stressful. Not just trying to get a shot off on a huge buck like that, but just the not knowing. My initial feeling, I knew the shot was too high and it wasn't a good shot. We reviewed the footage and could see that. I mean, there's an inkling of hope, because like Chad said earlier to me, he goes, let's not forget, Scott, we shot a couple deer like that and found them, and he shot a good buck a couple years ago, hit him high like that and got high lung, and we found the buck. We're gonna go look at my arrow. I see my arrow right here. See if there's some blood sign on it, see if we can find any blood. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but I'm pretty worked up right now. I'm pretty dejected, but we got to go check out the arrow and see if there's any sign. I mean, crazier things have happened. I see my arrow right up here. Here's my arrow. I tell you what, look at this. There's a lot of blood on this arrow. Huh. That's good blood. I mean, it's been sitting for a while, so it's pretty dry. That's a lot of blood on the arrow. Hey, look, there's blood right here, man. Seeing blood like that gives you a little bit of hope. This is where he hooked, right here by this tree. Look, Chad, there's a major trail right here. Wait just a second. That's a rack. That's got to be him. That's got to be the rack. Do you see it right there? That's got to be him. Chad, that's our buck, dude. He is down, baby. I can't believe it. That's him. Chad. He's freaking huge, man. Just like we thought. Yes! This buck is a monster 8-point. And I tell you what, he only ran maybe 70 yards after the shot. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this does not seem real right now. I can see right here now on his back, it definitely clipped something. There's a hole over here. Look at the G2s and 3s on this deer. I knew that. I had an encounter with this buck maybe 3 weeks ago, and it didn't happen for me. I couldn't get on him. Let me tell you, this buck has got me some kind of nervous and rattled. And this morning I was shook up. I drew on him. Couldn't get the shot. He came in a little bit earlier. We didn't have enough filming light. And fortunately enough, he just wanted to dive his nose and put his face in the buck oil and the corn and munch away, man. I mean, that's what did it. That and the ozonics on this hunt. I mean, we're not even hunting the right wind, but we didn't have a choice. This is where the buck was coming. We pulled the cards when we got here. What a hunt, man. I mean, I can't believe that I'm looking at this deer right now. I thought it was over. But look, that's a lesson to be learned. Don't give up. Don't throw your hands up and totally give up, because you never know. There's so many variables in bow hunting and using archery tackle on these whitetails. And you never know, you know, depending on the hit, they can expire and you can find them just like this. I mean, this is 70, I see the ground blind. It's 70 yards from the ground blind. I mean, we're really blessed, really. Unbelievable. We took this down to the wire, guys. To the very last morning, to the very last day. From the challenges that I had, trying to film myself the first time I saw this huge buck, and then for the weather to be a mess, the bottom fell out and all that rain that we had, the weather cleared. Had Chad with me. He was able to run camera on me. Finally, for everything to come together, the buck's in front of me at 20 yards. I get the bow drawn back. I'm still a nervous wreck. I release the arrow. The deer only runs 70 yards. It's dead. I got my buck. There's nothing like shooting a big, huge, mature 8-point. What an encounter, what an experience, what a hunt.
I had a buddy of mine a few years ago that something happened. Every time I think about it, I just laugh. It was coming up to opening day. We were about 4 weeks away. My buddy had done everything right. He had washed all of his camo. He had everything laid out. He had batteries in his flashlights. He had gotten everything prepared and everything ready. We were so excited. Obviously, opening days like Christmas. And that morning he gets up, he grabs everything, all of his gear, all of his backpack. You know how it goes. All of the stuff's in his truck. And when he gets to the woods, he gets out, loads all of his stuff up, and realizes that he had forgotten his bow. His bow was still hanging in his garage. He had gotten everything else, but he'd forgotten his bow. He had gotten so busy preparing on all of this other stuff, all of those little details that go into making a hunt successful, that he had forgotten the most important thing. But did you know that that happens so much in life? I see it as a pastor. I've seen it in my own life at times. We get so busy doing all of these other little things, right? We get busy making a living for our families. We get busy trying to be good parents. We get busy doing all of this stuff in life. There's so many things that dominate our time that it's possible to get so busy doing all of these good things that we miss out on the biggest thing, the best thing, the most important thing in life, which is a personal relationship with God through His Son, Jesus Christ. Did you know that there's a scripture in the Gospel of Mark that says it like this? What have we gained in life if we gain everything but miss out on God? The answer is really nothing. And so I would encourage you today, if you've been so busy doing all of these other things in life that it's distracted you from the most important thing, give God a second chance. Give God a second look. He's certainly waiting on you, and He loves you, and He wants to have a part and a parcel in your life. If you'd like to know more about a personal relationship with God through His Son, Jesus Christ, just go to elusivewildlife.com and click on the Moment of Truth tab.
Like those words you throw.